Commission has kept the season open too long in Zone 1. They docked their boats today in protest. The fishermen say the brown shrimp are gone and all they're catching are the immature white shrimp, the shrimp that should be grown for the August season.
Your little shrimp that's hatching and you're dragging in this mud, I don't know if when you get in the boat like I got 45 foot and you're getting shallow water and 2.5, 3 foot of water, if you drag there for an hour, well, this water gets so black, which you don't catch, you kill right there.
The fishermen say the shrimp should grow 10 times bigger and bring 3 times as much money if allowed to mature properly.
America's DC-10s are back in the air tonight. That story is next.
Owen Brennan left a great legacy, a great French restaurant on Royal Street. And his tradition and demand for excellence has lived on through his sons. They guarantee you a great dinner. It's this kind of personal attention that has made this great restaurant even better. It's a matter of family pride. The best is getting better.
There's an invitation to a very special open house waiting for you in this Sunday's Times-Picayune. You'll find the addresses in Latter & Bloom's full-page picture ad in the classified section. Every week, there'll be homes for sale open in every area of the city, in every price range, in every size. One of these lovely homes is just right for you, and Latter & Bloom can open the door.
May we open the door for you?
If you think that $1,000 won't completely refurnish your early American living room, and you haven't shopped our half-yearly sale. The sofa love seat and chair are Stewart of Asheville. The tables are Cassard. The lamps, Elite. The picture on the wall is Turner. And the half-yearly sale price, $599 for every bit of it at John F. Lawhon's.
The brand new Zenith Computer Space Command lets you control all functions of Zenith from your chair. It also permits you to tune in every cable television channel as they become available. In addition, its precise control of the sound volume is so remarkable that it runs through 254 volume steps in just seconds, and you can stop instantly at the point that gives you the precise volume you want.
Selection and great variety of Zenith TVs and stereos. See Universal Furniture Store, both locations.
Well, you shouldn't have any fears of flying DC-10 planes. Starting today, it becomes one of the most frequently inspected planes in the sky. Today was the day the FAA finally released America's 138 DC-10s. It's been almost 2 months since the planes were grounded following the worst crash in U.S. aviation history. A DC-10 leaving Chicago, 273 people died. Now airlines must inspect the craft every 100, 300, 900, 1,500, and 3,000 hours of use. FAA officials feel that many inspections will force the craft's builders to redesign the engine pylons. It's suspected that a pylon may have caused the Chicago crash.
And there's a nationwide campaign to stop the increasing crime rate in the black community. And today, plans were announced for a local crusade to combat black-on-black crime. More on that story from Doug Darby.
Black-on-black crime exists wherever there is a high concentration of underprivileged blacks. The most notable areas of the city for this type crime is the housing projects. The Iberville project near the historic St. Louis Cemetery on Basin Street has significantly reduced the number of crimes by blacks against blacks. Tenants say this couldn't have been done without the help of the police department. However, certain types of crime still flourish.
They're breaking cars, they are, snatching purses, and most of the tourists is really getting ripped off in this community that I have seen for the year that I've been resident counselor, that I have seen so many things, but it have quieted down a lot, But what we have to do now is just try to get with the young people in here and try to get them motivated to let somebody know that they care.
A citywide crusade for just that purpose was announced at City Hall today.
What we're about is motivating people on a massive basis. We're combating a more sinister element, and that is apathy, okay? And that is actually getting citizens involved. in combating black-on-black crime.
Reverend Carmouche says he plans to take the crusade to impoverished areas of the city in weeks to come. His efforts will be coordinated with those of other workers in Atlanta, Memphis, and Miami. A giant rally is tentatively scheduled for February 14th in the Orange Bowl in Miami to give progress reports on the crusade against black-on-black crime. Doug Darby, Channel 4, Eyewitness News.
In Lafayette today, Mark Gravel, son of the governor's executive counsel, Camille Gravel, pleaded guilty to 2 federal counts of possession of almost 4 pounds of cocaine with intent to distribute. The 26-year-old Gravel pleaded guilty as part of a plea bargaining agreement with the U.S. Attorney's Office in New Orleans. 5 other charges against him were dropped. Sentencing will come at a later date. Mark Gravel could receive a maximum of 30 years in prison and a $25,000 fine.
The stock market fell for the 4th straight day today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 3.33 points to 833.53. The continued drop in the market reportedly reflects uncertainty concerning President Carter's pending energy proposals. 4 Palestinian terrorists in Turkey tonight are still holding about 20 people hostage inside the Egyptian embassy. They shot their way inside early today, killing 3 policemen. But reports are that all of the people inside, including the ambassador, are safe. The terrorists want the release of other Palestinians jailed in Egypt and say they'll blow up the embassy if their demands are not met. Meanwhile, former President Nixon is on his way back to California tonight after a meeting with the exiled Shah of Iran at the Shah's home near Mexico City. And Nixon warned that the United States should not, quote, grease the skids of friends to this country. He was talking about what happened to the Shah and the problems of Nicaraguan President Anastasio Somoza. The former president is traveling with 14 Secret Service agents.
And still to come, Jim in the sports.
And Sally Ann Roberts continues her diet.
How many years will a new roof last? Well, this one will last a lot of years. Because Johns Manville made it, and because they made it with fiberglass. Fiberglass shingles are beautiful. They're fire resistant, and they last and last. How much extra does a fiberglass roof cost? Not much. But how many extra years of roof life can you expect? Call this number to find out, and to find who sells Johns Manville fiberglass shingles in your area.
Go west on airline to Bryan Chevytown for the Big Bonanza Roundup. Strike it rich and save $1,500 off the beautiful new '79 Bonanza pickup truck. Loaded with air, power steering and brakes, automatic, radio, and more. We've corralled more than 70 of these beauties. Put your brand on one of them. Come on out and choose from hundreds of new trucks and cars at Bryan Chevytown, 8200 Airline Highway.
Looks like you're going to hold a class.
Stick around, son. The appliance giant is going to teach you a trick.
A card trick?
No, a Campo buying trick. Here's the biggest private label washing machine in the 2 biggest name brands. Now, which ones have delivery and free installation all on the same day? The GE and the Whirlpool. They have similar features, but which ones are advertised for last?
Private label?
No, GE and Whirlpool when you buy them from Campo Appliances.
Gee, that's some trick.
It's easy when you're a giant.
Campo, the value store.
Well, if all of the weighty news of the world is getting you down like it is us, then you'll appreciate this report. It's good news and interesting, all wrapped into one. Sally Ann Roberts with an update on her weight-losing program.
This first week has been difficult. It's not easy to change eating habits that have been developed over a lifetime or to exercise after years of inactivity.
Oh, wow. Wilma Rudolph, I am not. But this is the moment of truth. Time to see the result of a week of work. And as they say, the scale never lies.
Let's see. Right at 162.
That is terrific. That's a loss then of 6 pounds?
6 pounds. Went from 168 to 162. That's really pretty good.
YMCA fitness technician Tom Lee warned me, however, the pounds will come off slower in the coming weeks. But with only 17 pounds more to lose, I am off and running toward my goal of 145 pounds. Now, as promised last week, Tulane nutritionist Judy Herr has some helpful diet hints on eating out. Judy, what advice can you give us?
Well, I think the important thing once you start, re-entering the world after the first week or two of your diet is that you don't have to feel deprived when you go out to eat. You can eat beautiful salads if you're careful about what they're dressed with. You can always ask that the salad dressing be served on the side and control it yourself. Obviously, you need meat, and it's good for you, but you don't need 10 ounces or 12 ounces of steak. Here in New Orleans, fish is super, and it's a good way to go. Chicken, particularly chicken breast, where the skin has been removed.
This sumptuous meal of broiled trout and vegetables prepared by breaded chef Michael Roussel has less than 300 calories. The fruit salad, less than 200. But fast foods are another matter. McDonald's Big Mac is a big 541 calories. Burger King's Whopper has a whopping 606 calories. Add French fries and a soft drink, and you have close to 1,000 calories. But dieters don't have to give up fast foods entirely. A regular hamburger or one with lettuce and tomato and milk equal less than 500 calories, even less if milk is replaced with a sugar-free soft drink. Next week, we'll have some cooking tips as well as a couple of low-calorie recipes. And, of course, the weigh-in. Sally Ann Roberts, Channel 4 Eyewitness News.
That is terrific. 6 pounds. Onward.
That's a great story and a great series, and she's doing a fine job.
Yes, she
Who knows
is.
what she'll get down to before the end of it.
That's right. Yeah.
Busy night in sports. As of this moment, the United States basketball team is in the midst of battling Puerto Rico for the gold medal in the Pan American Games, and they've got to avenge a shocking defeat of the U.S. women's team in the first game of a doubleheader in San Juan tonight. Cuba's women upset the U.S. tonight, 91-86. Winning the gold medal over a team that had won its first 5 games by an average margin of 37 points. Incidentally, men's coach Bobby Knight had his trial on assault postponed today in Puerto Rico. The Pan American Games provide for many athletes a tune-up for the Olympics, and that includes a local competitor who's just returned from San Juan and is now drawing a bead on Moscow in 1980.
Few sports fans would ever mistake Terry Anderson for an Olympic athlete. There are no bulging biceps, no muscular thighs, no sinewy calves. It is the small, unobtrusive muscles in the hand and the eye that make Terry Anderson what he is, the best shot with a pistol in the United States. 3 times in the past 5 years, he's been our national champion, adding to other national championships he's won in Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore. His brother was the national champion of Australia, and Terry followed his lead in his native country. 5 years ago, he left down under and came up and over to New Orleans, his wife's home. He recently led his United States team to a silver medal in the Pan Am Games. His specialty, rapid-fire pistol, squeezing off 1 shot at each target, first in 8, then in 6, and finally in 4 seconds from 28 yards away. His sport demands a controlled psyching, a part of which he learned from the marathon man, Bruce Jenner.
We use a relaxation training technique similar. I had a long discussion with Bruce Jenner about what he used, and he uses a very positive approach. He looks at each event as he's coming up, applies himself in his mind to the actual event, and then proceeds to go into the event. In our case, it's a relaxation training of perfection, 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 and then repetition. You try and train yourself to be perfect in your mind, and then you proceed into the event and then become perfect.
In fact, Anderson is an avowed perfectionist. He thinks that's a trait many great shooters share, along with some others.
We've tried to do research and to find out what makes a person great as far as the shooting movement goes. And really, well, the Russians put it as a high intelligence, a low excitability, and a well-controlled aggression, and the will to win.
Eventually, that will to win will take him to Moscow in all probability. After all, that's his target. And when it comes to hitting his target, Terry Anderson seldom misses.
Well, they're playing baseball again tonight in Chicago's Comiskey Park, and that's news for a couple of reasons. For one thing, it meant that the field had been restored well enough to be played upon after last night's riot there, and it meant that last night's conditions that prevailed between games of a Tigers-White Sox doubleheader did not tonight. Today, the White Sox learned they'd lost a game because they lost control of the crowd last night. The American League decreed that the Tigers were the winners by forfeit of the nightcap because the White Sox could not exercise proper crowd control. Tonight in Chicago, there's not an awful lot of excitement for White Sox fans as the Tigers lead Chicago 2-1 now after 7 innings of play. And Nolan Ryan tonight nearly pitched the 5th no-hitter of his career as the California Angels defeated the New York Yankees 6-1. No one in the history of the game has pitched 5 no-hitters, and if Nolan had done so tonight, many would have felt it was tainted. Because right there in the 8th, Jim Spencer lined a ball out into center field, and Rick Miller came on, nearly made the play, but it went off his glove. The official scorer, scoring in his hometown, called the ball an error, and at the time preserved Nolan's no-hitter. But then in the 9th inning, Reggie Jackson took away the drama. Jackson at the plate had flied out, and popped out again, facing the fast-balling Ryan, who earlier this week said he would test the free agent market after this coming season. There you see the line score, 6-14-3 for California. The Yankees hitless, 1 runner, that coming on Spencer's error. And there you see a ground ball up the middle and through Ryan, the only base hit of the game. Nolan Ryan's quest for a 5th no-hitter thwarted tonight in Anaheim. That final again on a 1-hitter by Nolan Ryan, the Angels 6, the Yankees 1. At Toronto, the Twins defeated the Toronto Blue Jays 6-4. After 7 in Milwaukee, the Indians and the Brewers tied up 2-2. After 7 in Kansas City, it's Texas 9 and the Royals 3. After 2 in Oakland, it's the Red Sox 1, the A's nothing. After 1 in Seattle, Baltimore and Seattle scoreless. In the National League, in the first of a pair, the Mets defeated the Giants 7-6. Also in the first of a pair, it was the Padres over the Expos 7-5. The Braves clubbed the Pirates tonight 13-4. The Phillies again defeating the Dodgers 3-2. The Cubs, after 6 innings of play, lead the Reds 3-1, and St. Louis shut out Houston tonight as the Astros lose again 1-0. The trial of the man accused of killing California Angels star outfielder Lyman Bostock ended in a mistrial today. Prosecutors asked for a new trial of Leonard Smith within 90 days after the jury reported itself deadlocked in the case. Bostock was killed as he rode in a car with Smith's estranged wife, that coming last September. Her second consecutive 70 has given Geraldine Britz a 2-stroke lead after 2 rounds of the U.S. Women's Open. Sandra Palmer, Sally Little, and Debbie Massey are tied for second. And in the Greater Milwaukee Open, it's Ed Doherty with a 1-stroke lead over Victor Regalado after 36 holes. The Washington Bullets today agreed to give the Detroit Pistons a first-round draft choice in both 1980 and 1982 as compensation for signing guard Kevin Porter last night. He arrives just in time amidst reports that Bullet point guard Tom Henderson will sign with the Houston Rockets as a free agent. At Jefferson Downs tonight, a daily double of number 4 Irish Nipper and number 8 Eager Wan returned $81.90. And that's sports on a busy night.
Guess who got the boot?
Who?
Hamilton Jordan got the boot today, not from his boss, President Carter, but from the Washington, D.C. Police Department. The boot is a bright orange device affixed to Jordan's car, which locks the left front wheel. This is the second time the presidential aide has gotten the boot, both times for not paying over $100 in parking tickets. And before we present this next story, we would like to tell Mrs. Eric Paulson that this is not one of Eric's better stories, and you probably won't be interested, so you might as well turn your set off. And with that, here's a story about a new way to get a tan. Eric Paulson reporting.
This is an age of conveniences. Everybody wants everything done fast. We have convenience banking, convenience stores, and convenience food. Now there's even a convenience suntan.
And that's exactly what a new business called Tan-Trific Sun with locations on the East and West Bank specialize in. Selling people a fast tan without ever seeing the sun or spreading on a drop of lotion. When a customer comes in here, their skin is analyzed to see just how much tan they should be getting. Then it's off to one of several dressing booths with a small reflective cubicle filled with 16 ultraviolet lights. There a person is given a couple of minutes of tanning rays, which we're told amounts to about 2 hours in the sun. After a few visits at $2 a piece with a minimum purchase of $20, the owner says you can get a deep dark tan without ever seeing the sun, and in only a fraction of the time you'd spend on the real thing. And even though this franchise business has done well in other cities, one can't help but wonder how well it'll work in a place like New Orleans, which sees plenty of free sun most of the year round.
Again, let me mention that it's a cool, safe, fast way to get a tan. It's by far surpasses spending many grueling hours in the sun. It's, I think, an excellent program for people that office people that work from 9 to 5, that are confined in the office each day. They don't have to spend their entire weekend trying to cram 5 or 6 hours of sunlight in.
Incidentally, Whittington says his method of bronzing the skin is a lot better for people who want to tan parts of their body that are not allowed to be exposed at, say, the beach or while laying out on the lakefront. Because when you're in the booth, no one but you has to know what you're tanning. Eric Paulson, Channel 4 Eyewitness News.
Is Eric's story over?
I used to look like that before I got married.
I wasn't watching. I didn't say that. Coming up next, Nash with the weekend weather.
I can whoop anything on 2 legs, but even me, the greatest, needs help beating things with 6 legs. I mean roaches. I'm gonna show you how you can whoop roaches with decon power, decon Forgone. It's not like regular sprays. Forgone is an automatic room fogger. It wipes out roaches in the whole room. I don't want you living with roaches. Wipe them out with decon power. Decon, more power to you.
How much with the FM stereo?
Buying a new car comes down to price, and at Benson Gold, the top Chevy dealer in downtown New Orleans, you'll get a low total sales price, a good deal on a trade, and the lowest monthly payment plan available.
That's it. That's it?
That's it?
That's it? That's it? Okay. Add in the wire wheel covers.
For a good deal more, Benson Gold Chevrolet.
You come to town for us, and we'll go to town for you.
Now you can dine out with a friend and get substantial price deductions with free dining certificates at this and 14 other fine New Orleans restaurants. To get your free dining certificate, just open a $300 in and out availability savings account at First Homestead. Saving with First Homestead has become a matter of good taste.
First Homestead, first in Louisiana. Tap, tap, cola, what a beautiful drink. Tap, tap, cola, beautiful people. Tap, tap, cola, look beautiful to me. 16 ounces at just 1 calorie. Tap, tap, cola, what a beautiful drink. Tap, tap, cola, beautiful people. Tap, tap, cola, it's beautiful to be. Tasting so darn good and sugar-free.
What I want to know is, with the water on the ground and with the threat of thunder showers, are we going to have high temperatures that's going to make it a sauna bath?
Yeah, it is going to make it pretty humid. I mean, the heat and the humidity is going to make it rough this weekend. But we will have partly cloudy skies part of the day, and then mostly cloudy, I would say, afternoon and early evening. The thunderstorms will be around again. Over land, there will be mostly afternoon and evening. Notice I said mostly afternoon and evening. Over water, they could be nighttime or very early morning. The general pattern ought to be a movement from south to north. When you see a thunderstorm due south of you, you have a pretty good chance of having it come over you. So southerly winds, they'll be a little stronger over the Gulf than they have been in the last day, than they were today. They'll pick up a little bit out of the south, and over land they'll be about 5 to 15 miles an hour. Strong gust in the thunderstorms. The maximum temperature in the low 90s, the minimum in the mid to high 70s. So it's going to be a warm to hot weekend and kind of muggy. Cloudy with a 71 low, 85 high, the forecast for New York. Fair, 72 low, 92 high for the Atlanta area. Partly cloudy with a 70 low, 91 high, the forecast for Chicago. And Memphis should be partly cloudy, 76 low, 95 high. This Chicago forecast, they have a chance of getting some of this rough weather that's moving just north of them. Caused tornado watch up for a great deal of Iowa, northern Illinois, southwestern, we would say, Minnesota, and the northeastern part of Nebraska and southeastern part of South Dakota. Fair with a 75 low and a 100 high for Dallas-Fort Worth. Partly cloudy, 56 low, 86 high in Denver. 39 at Mullen, Idaho for the highest in the nation. Fair, 55 low, 77 high, the forecast for Seattle. And Los Angeles should be fair with a 65 low and an 88 high. The satellite picture shows this patch of clouds along the coastline that's been giving us the rash of thunderstorms. Be back with more right after this.
Meet Republic Airlines, the best of Southern Airways and North Central Airlines combined.
With lots of solid experience behind us, we're looking forward to building an even better airline in all the ways that count. See for yourself. Get together with Republic Airlines.
We've gotten together to build your kind of airline. We're Republic Airlines.
This is where the OPEC countries are meeting once again to raise the price of oil. That increase is then passed on to you in higher gasoline prices and by utility companies as a fuel adjustment charge. What can we do about it? One thing we could do is to raise the price of products that we sell to the OPEC nations. Every time they raise the price of oil, it's time for new priorities in Washington, as well as in Louisiana. I'm Louis Lambert, and that's why I'm running for governor.
You save big as Weiner slices prices. Yes, Weiner slices prices on pre-rented furniture from luxury apartments. Look at these living room tables and lamps as low as $12 each. $12. Big selections of fine wood dinettes, a big variety of sturdy bedroom sets, excellent mattresses and box springs and appliances. Living rooms as low as $89. Some dents and scratches, but at these prices, who cares? Bargains galore and hundreds more at Weiner's 3 great furniture stores. Hurry in and save.
The lowest temperature in Mississippi is 70 at Macomb, 70 low, 89 high at Franklinton with 83/100ths of an inch of rain, 70 low, 80 high in Hammond, and they had some heavy rain up there too today, 80 low, 92 high at Moisant Field in Kenner, 93 downtown New Orleans for the highest in Louisiana, and I had 53/100ths of an inch of rain here, 76 low, 94 high in Toka, 81 low, 89 high in Biloxi Gulfport. That was the highest in Mississippi, a 72 low, 87 high in Poplarville with 2 1/10 inches. You're now looking at your 10 o'clock readings. I want to remind you that there is no tropical weather showing up right now. The maximum today was 93 downtown. It was warmest in the state of Louisiana. The minimum was 79. The general forecast, partly cloudy to cloudy skies, scattered mostly PM thunderstorms over land, almost any time over water, hot with a minimum of 76 and a maximum of 92. Southerly winds, 5 to 15 miles an hour gust in the thunderstorms. The marine forecast, scattered thunderstorms, southerly winds 10 to 18 with higher gusts near the thunderstorms, moderate seas, rough near the thunderstorms. High tide on Saturday, 2:27 p.m., low at 11:42 p.m., the range only 6/10 of a foot. On Sunday, high at 8:39 a.m., low at 10:29 p.m., the range 3/10 of a foot, tides above normal. That's your forecast. Now back to Angela.
And now let's go to the update desk and Dennis Walter.
Angela, 4 people are reported hurt in an accident on a drilling rig in the mouth of the Mississippi River, near the mouth of the Mississippi River. A Coast Guard helicopter has been dispatched to take the injured to Public Health Hospital here in New Orleans. Extent of their injuries isn't clear, and the Coast Guard spokesman said the nature of the accident is unknown, but no blowout or fire has been reported. Angela?
Thank you, Dennis. Recapping tonight's top stories, arson is increasing at an alarming rate in Jefferson Parish. The Parish Council will consider forming a special arson unit at its meeting next week. And the new Jefferson Parish Sheriff says he's just a caretaker until a new sheriff is chosen in the next election.
And that's the weekday edition of Eyewitness News. Thank you for watching.
Have a great weekend and good night.
The Key Man at Key Dodge Sales can help you choose from over 100 vans, from the low-price B100 to the luxurious Sportsman's van, or select one of Key Dodge's custom Key Z Surfa vans, equipped with mag wheels, custom paint, captain's chairs, carpets and paneling, ice box and sofa bed. The Key Z Surfa van is only $495 down and $171.74 per month. Make Key Dodge your van headquarters. Key Dodge, 1660 West Bank Expressway.
A lot of people are not spending enough time in a place like this. Not the good citizens, but the murderers, the rapists, and the thugs. One reason is that Attorney General Billy Gust has let crime get out of hand. It's an emergency, and still nothing is being done. As District Attorney in Avoyelles Parish, I slam the jail door on criminals. As Attorney General, I will keep them where they belong, here.
This is Channel 4, New Orleans.